Good evening. I'm delighted to welcome you all to our first gala fundraiser. We're enormously grateful to everyone who has contributed to it. We're also very happy that our artistic director, Thomas Guthrie, is celebrating his 50th birthday with us this very day, although I can't believe that he's 50. And Tom is here to tell you all about the exciting plans that our charity is proposing. Now I'm going to hand you over, virtually of course, to my fellow trustee, Zander Armstrong. Zander, are you there?
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. It's a huge pleasure to be here. We've got a whole Gesamtkunstwerk to talk about, but I happen to you've got so many contacts. You know, you've built up an amazing Rolodex. You can't go through life for 50 years being this lovely without just attaching all sorts of friends along the way, or perhaps they attaching themselves to you.
Well, for a short time, certainly.
You've pulled in some favours from these lovely friends.
So I think we've got something. I don't know what it is, but we've got something from a few wonderful, wonderful people to share with the guests tonight.
Who we got?
Robert Murray, tenor. He sang our first productions of the Schubert with puppet and the instruments. And I've known Robert a long time, and he's a man who loves a joke, and he's just the most gorgeous voice. Yes, this is our dear friend Rob Murray.
Hey Tom, happy birthday. Happy 50th birthday. What a great achievement of sorts, I suppose. But I think we're here to celebrate not only you, but your charity, which is also pretty amazing. I've been lucky enough to work with them, I think about 7 years ago or so, or maybe 5 or 6 or 7. Maybe it was the beginning of the charity, doing some Schubert and Bach, and they were definitely two of the most inspirational projects I've been involved in. Good luck with everything. I hope you have a brilliant birthday. Your work to sort of help, try to create venues that we can all work in really is one of the most exciting bits of news I've heard. So really wish you all the best with that. Wish the charity lots of luck. Wish the charity at least 50 more years and you at least 7 more years. That would be fabulous, wouldn't it? Anyway, I'm going to sing a song to join in the celebration. It's The Trees They Grow So High. Anyway, happy birthday, Tom. Big love. Bye.
The trees, they grow so high, and the leaves, they do grow green. And many a cold winter's night my love and I have seen. Of a cold winter's night, my love, you and I alone have been. Whilst my bonny boy is young, he's a growing. Whilst my bonny boy is young, he's a growing. Oh, Father, dearest Father, you've done to me great wrong. You've tied me to a boy when you know he is too young. Oh, daughter, dearest daughter, if you wait a little while, a lady you shall be while he's growing. Growing, a lady you shall be while he's growing. I'll send your love to college or for a year or two, and then in the meantime he will do for you. I'll buy him white ribbons, tie them round his bonny waist, to let the ladies know that he's married. Married, to let the ladies know that he's married. I went up to the college and I looked over the wall, saw 24 gentlemen playing at bat and ball. I called for my true love, but they would not let him come, all because he was a young boy and growing. Growing, growing, all because he was a young boy and growing. At the age of 16 he was a married man, and at the age of 17 was father to a son. And at the age of 18 the grass grew over him, cruel death soon put an end to his growing. Growing, growing, cruel death soon put an end to his growing. And now my love is dead, and in his grave doth lie. The green grass grows o'er him so very, very high. I'll sit and I'll mourn his fate until the day I die, and I'll watch all o'er his child while he's growing. Growing, growing, and I'll watch all o'er his child while he's growing.
This is such a great treat. It's always lovely to talk to you.
And thank you so much for being a trustee of this charity. It's great to have
It's
you.
a huge pleasure, and I think it just ties in with so much that I feel passionate about. But here we are with a slightly murky day out there, but the beautiful Thames running behind us, coming towards the end of what's been a grisly year, really, a very tedious year, one way and another.
And it continues to be, doesn't it? It's a terrifying time in a way. It's very difficult for so many people.
It is, and what, therefore, I mean, this is at the risk of sounding a bit, what was that programme, late review, Whither the Arts? Whither the Arts, Tom? If I can throw that one to you. Where are we going? What sort of state are we in, and what do you think is our way out of here?
Well, it's very interesting because I think a couple of things are important to say. First of all, that when we talk about the arts, we're talking about obviously a huge professional body in this country, which is world famous and contributes an enormous amount to the economy, more than sport. I mean, it's just billions of pounds, and it's an industry that is absolutely on its knees at the moment. It's not just that isn't the arts. I mean, the arts isn't owned by anybody. No one has a right to earn money from doing it. It's also schools having showcase space. It's also local community groups. It's also the audiences. You know, every one of us in so many different ways rely on the arts to sort of get us through the day. And so everybody is hugely affected. I mean, you don't have to watch telly at the moment. There's nothing really on because nothing was made over the summer. I mean, there's some wonderful things on.
Yeah.
Because it affects absolutely everybody. And what is art? I mean, what is... There's a question to throw back at you.
OK, there we are.
Alexander. Well, I mean,
Janet Street Porter might come in later. No, later, Janet. Sorry, just to be a
Not
little
just
bit late
now.
review, again.
Yes, exactly. No, I mean, I think it's to do with a sort of soul lifeblood that keeps us all going. But at the same time, it's the thing that we do around the fireside at the end of the day, isn't it? We might have been marching or building or fighting or hunting.
He's speaking historically.
I am. I haven't done any of those myself today.
Not these last 3 years, anyway.
Couple of weeks. But it's something that and then it has an incredibly important role. I'm reminded of Asterix and Obelix and Cacophonix.
Cacophonix, poor fellow, yes.
Yes.
Always
tied
cut short.
Tied up and put
I wonder
in the
how
tree.
bad he really was, Cacophonix.
Yes, well,
I suspect it was his lyre playing. But I think the other important part of that, the sort of bardic role of the arts more generally, which is to educate and to enrich the lives of particularly the young, and I think that's something that we've...
Crucial.
I mean, criminally lost sight of. Music in our schools is vanishingly small, unless people are making superhuman efforts to keep it on the curriculum.
Yes. Well, we could talk a lot about that.
Yeah,
I think that's where we come in. I mean, I think that is where we come. That's what we're about. And as a charity, we now at the moment with the world that we're in, there is an opportunity here to reset some of these things and to make sure that the arts that come as a business, as a world, as an interactive soul blood of our communities, of our very humanity in this country and across the world, we make sure that it's healthy and that it is accessible to everybody and is the language that everybody can use, and we don't. And this is a worry. We don't revert to a sort of closed off thing. And of course, we're opera, music and theatre for all. I mean, we almost avoided the word opera in the title there.
Yes,
but
I can see that.
I mean, it's a storytelling thing with the human voice. It's an opportunity now to get away from the sort of ivory tower.
Well, now here's a real treat. This takes us back. I mean, it really does take us right back to the heart of the initial lockdown. And this was a wonderful idea of yours. I don't know. It really did feel like the flowers had all gone. I mean, it was a very bare and parched time, really. And yet, this music sings out so sweetly from it. It's lovely.
Where have all the flowers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the flowers gone? Picked by young girls, everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Where have all the young girls gone? Long time passing.
Where have all the young girls gone? Long time ago. Where have all the young girls gone?
Gone to young men, everyone. When will they ever learn?
When will they ever learn?
Where have all the good men gone? Long time passing. Where have all the good men gone? Long time ago. Where have all the good men gone? Gone to soldier everyone. When will they ever learn? When will they ever learn?
Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time passing. Where have all the soldiers gone? Long time ago. Where have all the soldiers gone? Gone to graveyards, everyone. When will they ever learn? in passing, where have all the flowers gone? Long time ago, where have all the flowers gone? Picked by young girls, everyone. When will they ever learn?
When will they ever learn?
And it's just storytelling, and it's just
storytelling.
if you exclude anybody,
Yeah.
you're not telling a story. Imagine someone sitting there round the fireside and saying, once upon a time, there was this wonderful... Sorry, you won't understand this, but just
Yes.
sit this one out.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to tell this story in Middle English and,
Yes.
and little bits of it in Norse. But, if you don't have those languages, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
It's also going to be impenetrably dull.
Yeah, right.
And then you're going to find that person is either not going to be asked to sit round the fire again, or is going to be gently shoved onto the fire by all the people. Again, I'm talking from years ago. This isn't behaviour that
It's cacophonics. That's no wonder he probably did it in ancient
true.
Norse.
That's what Cacophonics' problem was. It was just impenetrable and probably far too intellectual and
Yeah, well,
highbrow.
quite.
Nobody really wanted it. What they wanted is stuff that's engaging.
Opera is always just about the storytelling, but with this element of the unamplified human voice. And what is that? And this is crucial when we talk about what this project that we're going to talk about shortly, the Urban Opera Project, because opera puts a lot of us off. What it is at heart is, and often can be, as an experience for people, the most fantastic way of storytelling because it's this human way of singing. What is opera singing? Something that you train for years? Do you have to build up the muscles? Is it a freakish sort of weightlifting sort of thing? No, is the answer. And scientifically, if I can be so bold, the actual technical aspects that an opera singer is using is exactly the same technical aspects, physical, scientific, biological functions that a baby is using when it's crying. And if you think about a baby's sound when it is crying, it carries. That's its defining factor. Mum might be few rooms away. She might be across the field.
Yeah.
And she needs to come. She needs to know. Also, she needs to make the kind of noise which is emotionally demanding of a response. We've all been on the bus when a baby cries, and you just think, "Whoosh," because you can't switch off.
You
from
can't,
it.
no.
And a baby can go on forever. I mean, talk about Wagner. You've got to sing that thing all night. So is it a freakish thing that you've got to do? No, it's every one of us has done it. Every one of us was born with the ability to make an emotionally communicative sound that carries over distance and can go on for hours. Perfect for opera. I mean, you know, so why does a baby cry? It doesn't cry all the time. It cries when it needs its nappy changing, when it's hungry, when it's ill, when it's got something that it needs attention. Maybe it needs some love, and maybe it's been ignored. When the baby is in a situation where all those situations, if its nap is not clean, if it's not fed, if it's not given attention and love, the chances are that baby is going to die because it's not being fed. In those situations, when it's life or death, every single one of us can go, and it doesn't take long before you sound like Pavarotti. Not me. But you listen to Callas, and they're just doing, that's what they're doing. Yeah. All of us can do it. And all of us, all we need is stories to share, stories to tell, which are so elementally human that the only way we can do it is operatically. No microphones.
Yeah.
No crooning.
Because it does, we all respond to that at a primal level. Time for another song, I think. Tom, what have we got now?
Well, I first worked with Gwyneth Herbert. We're going to hear Gwyneth Herbert. She's just one of the most fantastic... She's an extraordinary artist in so many ways. She's almost a poster girl for the kind of work that we really believe in, music and theatre for all, the way she engages with people and the quality that she brings. She was in Wherever All the Flowers Come Across and playing the melodica as well as singing. She just lifts it to another level. We worked together doing a Radio 4's playlist. I've been a huge fan of her ever since. And this is the wonderful Gwyneth Herbert.
Hi everyone, I'm Gwyneth Herbert, and I am so excited to be part of Tommy's special birthday event tonight, raising awareness and much needed funds for the brilliant charity Music and Theatre for All. As an artist with community right at the very heart of my practice, I get to witness firsthand the profound effect that creativity can have. Bringing people of diverse experiences together, giving them a sense of power in their own voices, and also providing a space for dialogue in a world where we seem either to be silent or shouting at each other. So, more of everything for everyone. Let's bring it out of our pockets and take it onto the streets. And Tommy, wishing you a very happy birthday. Hi, I'm Gwen, and this is More of Everything. So today when I got up, the bed creaked so melodically, so sweetly and so sonically. I lay back down and got up again. Lay back down and got up again. And then the next 5 minutes going up, down, down, up, down, down, up, a morning symphony. And then I had to write it down. And as I waited for the bus, there were two old ladies chattering, oh tittle tattle nattering. And did she know? No, she never did. Or did she know? No, she never did. And then the next 10 minutes going, did no, never know, did no, never know, did I, did you, did she? And then I had to write it down. And then I had to write and tell you that. Know that I hit more in every little thing, and every day is more, and every melody is new, and I reach for more in every little thing, more of everyone and everywhere. I'm more of me because of you. So then I went to buy some peas. My trolley had a wonky wheel, it made a shuffle and a squeal, and I went up the aisle and then down again, up the aisle and then down again. And then the next half hour going trolley funny. And then I had to write it down. And then I went to board the train. The trolley did a pretty dance, a choir of Lincoln City fans all going, oi la la, tiki tiki taka, oi la la, tiki tiki taka. And then the whole long journey going, oi la, tiki taka, oi tika la, tika transit symphony. And then I had to write it down. And then I had to write and tell you that. Well, you know that I hit more in every little thing, and every day is more, and every melody is new, and I reach for more in every little thing, more of everyone and everywhere. I'm more of me because of. So lay down your ears, throw off your shoes, dance like your legs have got nothing to lose. Keep it all on the edge, keep it all out of sight. Throw your map to the ground and just head for the light. Always carry an egg in your back pocket. Don't ever let the suits grind you down. Though I can't stand that house of ground alone in night. Don't go playing no blues for no phony elites. Take it out of your pockets and onto the streets. Mash it up, pass it on through the tunes and the years, for everyone's voices and everyone's ears, for everyone's ears. And you know that we hit more in every little thing, and every day is more. Every melody is new, and we reach for more in every little thing, more of everyone and everywhere. I'm more of me. We're more because of you.
He knew that the music, he kind of thought, well, the music's going to be great. I know it's going to be great. It's going to do its stuff. It's going to be just lovely. But I really want the drama because actually, at the end of the day, that is what people are going to be engaged by. And it's all what people are going to be inflamed by as they leave the theatre. And you've got to carry that out. I mean, you know, every time you put something on to an auditorium of people, that's your chance to light, you know, whatever it is, 750 touch papers, 1,200 touch papers, and just send them out into the community. You know, let us talk about urban opera then.
Let's talk about urban opera. There's some exercises, some mechanisms that I learnt at the Royal Opera House when they had a write an opera thing, in which we all worked together to find ways for teachers and group leaders to go back into their schools, into their communities, and help their participants create from scratch their own opera. So they think of a story, they write the text, they write the music, then they perform the music and they sing it, and they do the staging, they do the lighting, they do the stage management, they do the poster, they do absolutely everything. At the end of one of these, we did the course at the beginning of the year. At the end of the year, you'd go to the school and you'd sit there. You'd be met by kids. You wouldn't see the teacher. You'd be met by kids. The kid would do the introduction. The kid would be sort of conducting the kids who were playing. The kids would do the thing, and the stories were all absolutely fantastic. Incredibly sort of...
This is Byron's...
Well, Byron's a great example because Byron is at school in South East London, and as a charity we've worked with him once before, and he now does that. Unfortunately, the Royal Opera House has ceased to do that programme, and it's a terrible sadness. I mean, they do wonderful things apart from that, but it's one of the great losses because it took about 30 years to build this up.
Yeah.
Now, in that school, these kids who haven't come across opera before, don't know what it is, don't have preconceptions about it, absolutely think it's the best thing ever. They can dance, they can sing, they can tell their own story with it. Everyone can be involved. You can do anything. And every year now, year 6 at this school, they do it. They'll continue to do it. It's their goodbye to the school. It's their big. They do it. They build it through the year. They do a show at the end.
Hello.
Oh, good to see you. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little while, hasn't it?
Thank you so much for joining. I know you're in the middle of a busy school week, and I know that your daughter's had COVID, and I'm really pleased that she's better. Byron, we met, I think it was
2014.
2014, and we did doing the Write an Opera project.
It was literally from zero to everything in just that 1 year. I think I came back just raring to go. The Giraffe song, Giraffe Holds His Head Up High, I've just finished singing that just now with a group of Year 5 children, and we sing it with Key Stage 1 children every single session.
So we did the course in 2014, and now in 2020, 2021, going forward, we're still yeah, it's
some of the same things are having the same impact. I believe it is our 2015 version was one where we had one of the lead characters was a boy who wouldn't put his hand up to answer a question in class, and went from doing that to being willing to just about do an audition, was persuaded to do an audition, and then with this big thing in front of him, this sort of big opportunity, but also very scary thing, he really sort of worked through a lot of the nerves and the anxiety about being in front of people and speaking in front of people, to being willing to perform on a stage sing on a stage in front of 800 people. And he came back, he's in secondary school now, he came back and ended up running for the young mayor of Lewisham, and he came and spoke to me and said, look, doing that opera project gave me the confidence to be able to speak in front of people and to put myself out there. And that was something that I really took away. We've had 3 children that have gone to join the National Youth Opera project at the Royal Opera House since as well. For lots of children, it opens up an area of music that they just don't really think is for them. So after being in part of the project, a lot of children have looked at it and go, I like this, I like opera. And, so for me, I think it's given children a different point of view, a different experience. But for lots of them, it's really provided them, sort of empowered them with confidence that they might not have had with other areas of the curriculum.
That's brilliant, Byron, and it's just fantastic work that you're doing to keep that going and to keep doing it. So the borough-wide one, we're going to do it. I mean, probably in the street. We're going to get all ages involved. And it's going to be quite spectacular, I think. And this idea that we, exactly as you say, the Royal Opera House unfortunately can't do the programme anymore. But as you say, it was built up over such a long time, and it has this long-lasting legacy for everyone who does it. And you're such a great example of that. And it's so brilliant to talk to you about it, because I think that what this can do, this idea that people can create their own work, and an opera is just their own story, but sung. That's all it is. There's nothing strange about it. And the fact that you can open that up, like you say, people we feel culturally estranged from opera. So many people think, not for me. But when we create it, when we actually think about what it is, and what we're going to do is do it in the Borough of Culture in 2022, because I think I just like there's no limit to the number of people who can be involved, and well, perhaps there's a bit of a limit, but hopefully it's something to get us out. Looking forward. Byron, thank you so much.
I'll let you go. All right. Take care. You too. Thanks for that. Take care.
So urban opera, what's beautiful about this is that we can go into any community in the world almost.
So what we need to do then, I mean, this is where Music and Theatre for All can keep that flame burning. This has to be a baton that you take up, because its benefits just dramatically. And again, it's not necessarily about leading out a sort of musicianship. It's just leading out expression at a sort of primal but also very refined level.
Yes, that's exactly it. And what we want to do, so we're Lewisham Borough of Culture in 2022.
Yes.
And working with Trinity Laban, with Rose Bruford College, which has come to Lewisham, students there, and all the schools in the borough, Bellingham, Downham, very culturally deprived areas. We're going to go into those communities, work with housing associations, and we're going to put them together with the best professionals that we can lay our hands on, and we're going to do a fantastic, spectacular show. And once we've done that in Lewisham, what we really want to do, as you say, take the baton on and go around the country.
Another song, Tom.
Is it time?
I think so. I think the time is right.
So this is there are artists one works with where not only are they lovely people and collegiate in the best way, not just friendly to people, but actually helping everybody, get on with their work. And she sings so musically and with such artistry and skill that I can't think of anything that I wouldn't want her to sing. This is Joelle Harvey. She sang Susanna in the Royal Opera House production of The Marriage of Figaro. She's an absolute jewel, and it's a great honour to know the young lady.
Happy 50th birthday, Tom. Thank you so much for asking me to be a part of this, to celebrate you, and also to celebrate the wonderful things that Music and Theatre for All has done so far. My family and I participated in the lockdown songs, and my daughter still, from time to time, sings Where Have All the Flowers Gone? It was a wonderful opportunity for professional musicians and people who just enjoy singing or enjoy making music to come together for something that is really worthwhile. So again, happy birthday.
The Western canon, as it were, of classical music is full of the most wonderful things. And they're wonderful for a reason, that they are human expressions of great craft and beauty. And they touch us and will continue to touch us. Imagine a world without Shakespeare, without Bach, without Mozart. One of the things that we want to do is to keep finding ways to make these centerpieces of the classical repertoire accessible.
Accessible. I think that's a lovely.
Yes, and they should remain capable of being what they are, which is wonderful things, and that reach people and move people. The Schubert project is 200th anniversary of the song cycles of Schubert. All we're doing is looking at how they came about. Why do we still listen to them? Why do they still exist? There's something about them which is elementally of relevance in a human way, and there's such beautiful music. They were written for post-dinner gatherings, at post-dinner gatherings, improvised on the back of a napkin. People brought instruments. They never did the whole cycle and sat there quietly listening to it. They were drinking, and they said, "Oh, do that one."
Yes. Oi, Franz.
Franz, come over here and play the piano.
Come over here. Oh, you were here all along. Sorry, he was very short, wasn't he, Franz? Oh, sorry.
People dressed up and played these, and then there was storytelling events, or there was charades sort of thing. How is it possible? Let's ask the question to make this accessible to everybody.
Well, do you know what? This is an interesting conceit of the concert hall in a way that it somehow has built into, or baked in, as people like to say these days, has baked into it the expectation that something marvellous is going to happen, because you're sitting and the lights dim and everyone's quiet, and then someone comes out togged up very nicely and they bow and they sit at the piano and then they play. If that same person was on the piano there and and you're sitting on the arm of the sofa with a cup of tea and a bit of cake or possibly a glass of wine, and someone says, play the thing, and someone starts playing that, everyone would just go,
yes. And especially if there was a story behind it too.
There's a story behind it. And you're
was
sitting going, oh my God, that's incredible. But people who don't know and love classical music
yes.
would be absolutely knocked sideways.
Yes.
Would go, oh my God, where'd you learn to do that?
Yes.
Sort of thing. That would be so exciting.
Yes.
And the excitement of someone who can do that is removed by, don't get me wrong, I love the Wigmore Hall. I adore it, and I adore the programmes they have there. And their lunchtime concerts are just things of joy.
Yes.
But you know what I'm saying.
That's very much the sort of thing that we want to do with this. And there's going to be improvising elements to the way we do the Schubert. There's puppetry involved. There's a wonderful animator, Chris Glynn, doing some gorgeous visual work. Fantastic musicians, fantastic players.
October, late summer in Norway. Great day to relax, get feet up, enjoy a bit of sun before going in to record a bit of Schubert for my dear friend Tom, who, by the way, turns 50. Happy birthday.
Ich frage keine Blume, ich frage keinen Stern, sie können mir alle nicht sagen, was ich erfühl so gern. Ich bin ja auch kein Gärtner, Die Sterne stehen so hoch, mein Bächlein will ich fragen, ob mich mein Herz belogen. O Bächlein meiner Liebe, wie bist du heut so stumm? Will ja nur eines wissen, ein Wörtchen und ein Wörtchen Ja, heißt das eine Wörtchen, das andere heißt.
It's a really exciting project because it's also going to go on for a number of years till 2028. So we're going to do all three song cycles. Die Schöne Müllerin coming up is the anniversary is 2023. Then Winterreise 2027. That's a laugh and a half. Talking of Winterreise, I was for my 21st birthday. Did I ever tell you this? It was around the back in those days, my 21st birthday party. And my dad said, what do you want? What do you really want for your birthday? And I said, I want to do Winterreise. And he looked at me and said, are you serious? And I said, well, I've just learnt it. I just think it's just great. And I'd love to, So he got some friends. That was a fun evening, let me tell you. I mean,
I bet it was, though. But how nice.
Well, it was. I mean, that's
probably the proper context for it. I imagine everyone,
Yes.
Did you do the whole thing from soup to nuts, or did you?
I did. I mean, it won't be the same. We are going to make it slightly more entertaining, I think. That was very. But there we go. Yes, birthdays. There we are. Let's have a fun evening with existential suicide songs.
And the third cycle is when?
Yes, Fundraising is 2028. So, and of course, that's going to be a big Schubert year because that's the year he died, and will be that'll be the end of our trajectory. It's very exciting.
I mean, that sounds absolutely fantastic. I think on that note, let's have another song. Of course, you worked with Roddy, didn't you?
I've worked with Roddy a few times, and I used to sing with him in the good old days. And he was just the best Papageno in the Magic Flute recently at the Royal Opera House, where I was reviving David Vickers' wonderful, wonderful production. And so, yes, I've seen him fairly recently, and he's been involved in some of the things we've done over the summer in lockdown and things. And he's such a generous soul and such a wonderful artist, a wonderful person, fantastic composer as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes, really. I mean, very. Very talented man.
Yeah, and a broadcaster as well. I mean, a tremendous presenter.
Yes.
Yeah, just let's not forget that.
Let's see what he's
anyway, let's see what he's done.
Underneath the moon a puppet sings his song. Haunting, soft and clear, the voice belongs to Tom. Look it up on YouTube, you will find it there. Backed by a guitar, this song will raise your hair. Schubert's spooky song with Tom will raise your hair. Tom knows how a story casts a magic spell. Told through words or music, dance or mime as well. We could list the benefits to health all day. That's why Tom created MTF and A. Everyone can access MTF and A. Tom, you're turning 50, almost halfway through. May your future years bring joy and love to you.
What we must do with opera in particular, but in any kind of storytelling, we have to tell new stories constantly and find, you know, this element of what story is operatic. Where is it not enough just to talk? Where do we have this life and death human response to a story, to a situation where there's a communication which is extreme and operatic? And so we're looking at stories, and the one that we're looking at developing at the moment is about a fantastic story about a secret library in the underground in an enclave in the suburbs of Damascus in Syria, where society trying to survive, the council bins coming around, schools trying to, all going underground essentially to try and make things work. Buildings destroyed, rubble everywhere. There's a wonderful photograph that I always think of where a father's bathing his daughter and she's laughing in a building which has no walls and no, you know, and just urban debris absolutely everywhere. But just
trying to keep the human spirit
absolutely,
alive.
and it does keep it stay alive. We're in touch with journalists who uncovered this thing.
It's a wonderful story.
It's a wonderful
story. BBC
Dispatches,
or not Dispatches.
Yes, Crossing Continents.
Crossing Continents.
That's it. Yes, and it's a fantastic story. They collected stories and books and they stored them, and that's such a resonant thing for me. I think for all of us, right? That when things are at their worst. And now it's quite a good example. This is what we must do. Culture is at the heart of what keeps us going. It's not an unessential thing. It's not something that you should drop off the edge. It's something that we absolutely need to keep going because it's what keeps us going. That's the third element of what we're doing.
Do you have a time frame for that?
Well, yes, we do. We're developing it next year, hopefully, funding permitting. You know, development next year, creating it in 2022, working around the urban opera, starting to really develop the show in 2023, and then to tour it in 2024. So we're looking long term because because of the uncertainty, but also because we really want to use the time to develop really important things.
As you said at the beginning, there is an opportunity to rethink our culture, particularly our opera and our music, and how it engages, and actually to start rebuilding. We can be canny about this and think, right, well, let's think how we do it. How do we reassess it?
Opera's expensive to put on, and there is a place for high art where you protect the skill and the craft and the upper echelon feeling. Now, don't misunderstand me. And elitism is a terribly dangerous word, and it's misused in so many ways at the moment. And one's got to steer clear of it almost completely, I think. We're talking about excellence. We're talking about the possibility of excellence is critical. I mean, we're not. It's not about dumbing down at all.
Possibility of excellence.
Yes, but the what is the point of excellence? The point of excellence is to move people. Is to excite them. To make the kids long to get up there and be part of it. This is for you. And actually, if we, just to get to the venue thing, as you know, I've been speaking to an architect, and we're looking at a thing. I spoke to the DCMS just at the end of last week, and there is a bit of momentum going. You could make a sort of semi-permanent new space. Think of the other place at Stratford. You think of the Shed. These where incredibly exciting theatre can happen. Not expensive places, but the quality, excellence is really, really possible in them. But if you have multitudes of these around the country, so no one was very far away, you could have the National Theatre, you could have the Royal Opera House, you could have Bristol Vic, you could have Gifford Circus, you could have comedians, you could have TED Talks, you could have all that next to a school show, next to a community chorus. These urban performing spaces could actually bring everything together. And you could get 200 people in one of these safely, COVID-friendly. With real atmosphere, they're built up high so that everyone's close to the stage, so you don't make...
So in the round?
Yes, in the round. And you're not exactly... It's very like the Globe, going back pre-19th century theatrical model, if you like. And everybody's close to the action, but it's safe. And so you can't earn your money back if you're a professional organisation. You can't earn your money back on one night. But because there are 150 of these places, rather like cinemas, where they're all different around the country, but the same film can go in every one. It's not a big palaver to put a different film in. You can take your content, your opera house show, your National Theatre show, around to all these places and get many more thousands than you'd ever get into the Royal Opera House in one short run of 6 performances. Yeah. You could financially, it's viable. There's
it's viable, word. But much more excitingly than that, it's a process of conversion as well, because you're not just keeping the wheels. You're not just keeping, I suppose, the opera plates spinning that already spin at the Opera House. You're starting a whole load new. This is where you light all those touch papers, actually, isn't it? It's where you bring people in, and every 200 people that come in, there'll be 120 people who go out going, "Oh, yes, that was the best thing I've ever seen." Yes. I'm going to bring as many people as I can in for tomorrow's show. Yeah.
You can't rely on expensive sets. You can't rely on showmanship. You can only rely on quality, on excellence, of Shakespearean level and fantastic acting. And the people could do it. Joel Harvey, Roddy Williams, Gwyneth Herbert would be fantastic. You would be brilliant in there, Alexander. I mean, it is the kind of the kind of theatre you would be. I mean, because you know,
I love the idea of that.
Yes, well, exactly. You'd be great. Oh. Yes. So there we are. That's what I think. That's what I hope we're about, and it's wonderful to talk to you about it. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the work you do as a trustee. It's wonderful.
It's just such an enormous pleasure, and so lovely to talk to somebody who I think has absolutely the right idea. Well, Tom, thank you so much. Happy birthday. Good luck with it all. It's a wonderful vision, and if anyone can do it, you can.
Well,
my goodness.
Thank you so much, Alexander. And with the help of the trustees, with the help of all our supporters, we absolutely cannot do it without the incredibly generous help of so many people and so much support. So thank you, and thank you to the board members and everybody who has donated and who donates in the future. I mean, I think we can do something really wonderful in important ways. So hopefully we'll be able to do that.
Brilliant, Tom. Well, now here's a real treat. This is the premiere of Those Were the Days, sung by scores and scores, possibly even hundreds of people.
Yes.
This is a project you've been putting together throughout the year, following on the success of Where Have All the Flowers Gone?
Yeah, Where Have All the Flowers Gone? And We'll Meet Again. And this is the one that sort of got away, but we're delighted to share it now. Fantastic people involved, enjoy it. And again, I think this speaks for what we're about, hopefully. So thank you to everyone who's involved.
Wonderful.
Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. La la la.
upon a time there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Remember how we'd laugh away the hours and think of all the great things we would do.
Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day.
We live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way.
Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. And the busy years went rushing by us. We lost our starry notions on the way. If by chance I see you in the tavern, we'd smile at one another and we'd say, those were the days, my friend, we thought we'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. Those were the days, oh yes, they were the days. Just last night I stood before the tavern. Nothing seems the way it used to be.
In the glass I saw a strange reflection. Was that lonely woman really me?
1, 2, 3. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. Those were the days, oh yes, they were the days. Through the door there came familiar laughter. I saw your face and heard you call my name. Oh, my friend, we're older but not wiser. But in our hearts the dreams are still the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We sing and dance forever and a day. We live the life we choose, we fight and never lose, for we were young and sure to have our way. La 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 la. Those were the days, oh yes, they were the days.
Those were the days, oh yes, they were the days. Those were the days, oh yes, they were the days.
Thank you all so much for being with us tonight. Stay safe, and we'll meet again in an event in person for MTFA in the near future. Very best wishes to you all.